Once upon a time, there lived a very rich man named Chief Emeka, but people fondly called him Ezego because of his great wealth. He was so rich that it seems as if money never left his house. He was tall, dark and slim, with a cold, serious face. He hardly smiled, and whenever he did, it looked strange on him. Although he was in his late 50s, he looked like a man in his early 40s. Ezego lived in a beautiful and grand mansion in Anambra State. Anyone who passed by would stop to admire the building. People would sigh in amazement at the luxury around the house. Some young men would pray and say, "God, bless me like Ezego, so I can be rich like him." But sometimes, we must be careful about the kind of prayers we make, because not everything that shines is gold. Behind some wealth are dark and dangerous secrets. Ezego lived with his domestic staff, the cook, cleaners, gardeners, and gatekeeper. His wife had died 10 years earlier, and sadly, he had no child to inherit all his riches after his death. Ezego belonged to a very dangerous and secret cult called the Ogaranya Brotherhood. Members of this cult were required to sacrifice their first wives in exchange for great wealth. After the sacrifice, they were never allowed to remarry. Every year, the Brotherhood demanded another sacrifice, the blood of a young lady, usually about 22 years old, to renew their wealth. In return, the cult gave them more riches, power, influence, and even a youthful appearance. The members lived extravagant lives. They partied endlessly, spent money as if they had no value, and showed off their wealth everywhere they went. At parties, clubs, and special events, they spread dollars into the air while shouting their popular slogan, "Money na water." Emeka never cared about anyone or anything else. All he wanted was to spend money and remain the most talked about man in society. He dined with governors, presidents, and powerful men in the country. He was fearless, ruthless, and respected by many. One day, as he was about to step out of his room, he suddenly felt a strange presence. Immediately, he bowed his head in fear when he saw who it was. Standing before him was the leader of the Brotherhood. The figure looked dark and frightening, dressed in a red robe with no visible face.
"Emeka,"
the voice said coldly.
"it is that time of the year again. You must make your sacrifice. Do not fail, or you know the consequences."
As suddenly as it appeared, the leader vanished. Emeka slowly raised his head, sweat pouring down his face. His hands trembled as he picked up his car keys. Without wasting time, he rushed out of the mansion, his heart heavy with worry. That evening, Emeka sat alone on his balcony and made a phone call. He was picking